So my name's Rocky Wilkins, and I'm an attorney. I've been practicing almost 20 years from Jackson. I'm in Jackson, Mississippi. I've done a lot of car wrecks. I started off as a defense lawyer. I decided I didn't like that, and since for the last 15 years, I've been representing people that are hurt in car wrecks. I do a lot of trucking cases. I joined Morgan last year, and I've focused on 18-wheeler wrecks and other automobile wrecks, and I really enjoy what I do and helping other people. You know, it happens more than people like to think, but a lot of times the officer, not through anything intentional, will make a mistake. And so what I think you have to do is, as soon as possible, go and talk to the officer and try and get them to amend the report. Sometimes that's hard to do, and I've had to try cases where the officer actually had the accident at the wrong intersection. But you got to remember, they're doing the best they can. They also are working hundreds, if not thousands, of wrecks over their career, and sometimes they don't remember the specifics of each individual wreck. But if there is a mistake, you need to try and fix it immediately. Well, I think it's night and day between a trucking wreck and just a run-of-the-mill car wreck. And so I've had a lot of experience over the years in working on trucking cases, 18-wheeler cases. And the big difference is they involve the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations. And that's a book about this thick that the truckers have to follow. And it's things like that they have to inspect their vehicle, that they have to have a physical, that they have to keep hours of service when they're driving. And the #1 cause of wrecks is fatigue, and that's why the federal government has come in and mandated drivers can only drive a certain number of hours, because once they get over those hours, you see the rate of crashes go sky high. Well, the biggest difference between a trucking wreck and a car wreck is these 18-wheelers are 50,000 pounds plus, and anytime something that heavy hits a car, a person, or anything, you're going to have catastrophic injuries. So the injuries in a trucking case are generally much, much worse than in a car wreck. In a regular auto accident, you see a lot more of the sprains and strains. Usually in a trucking case, you see more permanent injuries, you see broken bones, surgeries, permanent injuries, things that will impact someone's work ability for life. I just tried a case in Jackson where a man was permanently injured. He had to have a hip surgery, he had to have rods and screws put in his body. Those are for life. It's what I call a forever case. So he was not able to work anymore, he was bound in a wheelchair, and after a week-long jury trial, the jury awarded $3.5 million. I think you can certainly be injured in a low-impact wreck. I think that it is a misconception that the insurance industry has put out there that if you have a low-speed, low property damage wreck that you can't be hurt. They actually know that's not true, but what is more important than what the vehicles look like is what your body does. And if your neck snaps, you certainly can be hurt. You can be permanently hurt. Well, anytime I get hired on a trucking case, I get a team of experts that I've used before, and that includes an accident reconstructionist that I hire, usually someone that's an expert in Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations, to look at the logbooks for the driver that caused the wreck. So what we do is we take the information from the state, and then we do a much more thorough investigation and spend a lot of time putting the whole wreck together. And it's based on science, and it's based on their experience and their education. And it really helps the jury understand why and how did this wreck happen. You know, in the last 20 years, I've tried a lot of jury trials, probably close to 50 by now. I have tried the minor injury cases, I've tried the permanently injured catastrophic cases, and I've tried, unfortunately, the cases where someone's lost a loved one. So I've tried death cases. I've tried big and small cases, and I think that if you are a true trial lawyer, that you're going to do all kinds of cases, and so I have.